Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go down like this and then come up. No, I'm gonna go out like this.
Okay. So should I even have this on you, Libby, or should I just turn it off? And
I think you should just have it on.
You'd even just put it down there.
She's just trying to escape from the game.
All right. Okay. Ready?
Where's the sound coming from right now, though? There. Okay, so you have to have it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can turn off your video if you want.
But if she turns the video off, then.
Okay. Ready?
Ready?
3, 2,
One.
1.
Zero.
Hello? Is everybody there? Welcome to Atina Foods and our pickling workshop, where we're going to ferment things like this and more. But first off, I want to give a little introduction. I hope you can hear me. Sometimes there's going to be cars that go by, and that's life. So I'm Carrie.
I'm Suresh.
I'm Clara.
Clara is going to be videotaping, and we're going to start the session. We're being directed on the steps by Libby,
Ready?
and she's going to come over here and play the sound for us.
Oh yeah.
The beginning, because we haven't begun yet, and we would like, yes.
Ready?
All right. Let's give a shout to who is here right now. If you guys show yourselves, that's awesome. And we can see what you're doing. So I see we've got Martha. Hi, Martha.
Hi, Carrie. Good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too.
Great.
Are you gonna be cutting and fermenting with us?
Yes, I have some banana peppers and okra.
Oh, how exciting! Because she's in the southern states.
Very good.
And we've got Marlene. Marlene, are you going to be preparing any food with us today, or you're watching? Oh, what do we got?
It's gonna be too much. It's coming off of this.
Okay. So is anyone writing in the chat there?
No.
Okay. So if you have questions, please write in the chat, and Libby over here is going to yell them to us. You can ask questions during the workshop, but also we'll do a little question and answer at the end. So who else do we have? We've got Rose and Scott.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm off video now because I'm eating my lunch, but I am prepared to ferment today. I'm ready.
Awesome. Do you have anything with you, Rose? Any accoutrements?
Yeah, I have squash, summer squash, and then I got all the ingredients that you requested, so ready to go.
Excellent. No lemons for you guys.
Oh, I wish. That was the best, I think the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
It's so exciting.
Oh,
So exciting. She had Rose and Scott. And is there anyone else here right now?
No.
Hey, Marlene. Can you? We can't hear you, Marlene. Are you muted? We got her, Marlene. Okay, Marlene, if you have something, show it to us. Otherwise, we don't know. Yes. Excellent. She's got zucchini.
All right.
All right, today's a zucchini day. Is there anyone else here?
I think that's it.
Okay, super. Let us begin our games, shall we? Okay. All right, Clara, turn it around and to the table. So, I think and you can hear us, right? Okay. What we want to start by talking about is, so we're gonna make pickles, P-I-C-K-L-E, pickles. And if you look here for a second, this is what I guess is more of a brine pickle with water and more of a European method. And this is not how we make our pickles here. What's interesting is that when you look up in the dictionary, the word pickle is a cucumber in brine, either with vinegar. I'm not even sure if it's salt, but the way we make pickles is a little bit different. We do them in a style that is traditional around the world, but definitely a style that's traditional where Suresh comes from. And the pickles from Kerala are called, what are they called, Suresh?
UPILLITATHY.
And what does that mean?
Put it in the salt. which is put in salt.
UPIL is salt.
Salt. Italy means in salt. That's it.
Okay, so tell us about this type of pickling and why this is so awesome.
So thank you very much for all the participants. Welcome to the abode of great Manitou Mountain and Athena. And this is a very sacred spot. And today what we are going to do in Zoom, we have been asked to work with all of you to do some demonstration about pickling. So what is pickling? Pickling is a generic name, or UPILLITATHY is a generic name for preserving a vegetable or a fruit or a root or a flower or a leaf in its own juice using a salt as the main catalyst and time, T-I-M-E, time and sunlight. So what we are talking is, how do we preserve vegetables which are abundant in this area without using industrial vinegar or without adding water. So this is the process which makes our process different. Here there is a vinegar and this is water. And here we are not using vinegar and water. Instead, what we are doing is we are preserving the vegetable in its own juice. UPILLITATHY means the vegetable which is put in the salt. Is it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So shall we go into the details of each one of it, or shall we do one process and we get it?
I think what we're going to do is to make sure everybody is set up correctly.
Yep.
We're going to go through everything that we have on the table right now,
Yep.
and we can give a brief explanation of why it's there.
Yep.
So first thing, Suresh, what is the most important thing on this table?
Yeah, most important thing of pickling in the table is clean surface. Clean surface means a cutting board, clean cutting board, a clean knife, a clean bowl, a vegetable which is washed and clean. Now, cleanness is the most important part in fermentation. It's not only in preparation, in preparing a pickle, but also eating. I mean, I don't know whether I should talk about eating now or later.
Later.
Later. So cleaning part, it's not only in making the pickle totally clean, but also the user, the eater, also has to be clean, which we will come later. Now, since this is a water-free pickling process, make sure that none of them have any water surface.
Okay, let's just go back on that for a second. This is very important. What did you just say, Suresh? Can you come forward, Clara?
What I said is, this is a water-free pickling process.
Now, why is that important?
So what is that? Why it is important? Yeah, let me just show you why it is important. What we are doing is we are cleaning the vegetable. This is a crab apple from our neighbor. This crab apple, what we are doing is we are going to just put some salt. I'll just show you the salt. And I'm just putting here a 1 spoon, 1.5 spoon is good. And then I'm just mixing it. So what is going to happen here is this vegetable with the sun, with the sun heat, the heat is sun directly here. In few seconds, the vegetable start release its water or its acid. So there is no need of adding any water at all. So when we add water, what happens here is the water here. When we add this water here, water facilitates the growth of the microbes. You can see the mold here. This is a pickle, it's only 2 weeks old. And this is a pickle which is 3-year-old. This is same cucumber, and this is also cucumber. So look at the difference in the process. This is 3 years, 2017 we made, and this is 2020. So the efficiency of pickling process is, in our process, avoid maximum water, clean surface. So basically, the logic is the water comes from, even I am not supposed to talk my name, keep in mind, in fermentation process, you are not supposed to talk because the saliva falls into the vegetable.
No water at all, even
No
from your mouth.
water.
Now, just to interject for a second, to further the importance of this is that pickling and fermentation comes from periods of time where people did not have refrigerators. So the point is how to not just the fermentation of your vegetables. This is so that you can preserve it without the use of refrigeration and it can last for ages. So all of the food that we make is able to be made without electricity. And that's the most very exciting thing. Though sometimes we have to sell you pickles that are in the refrigerator because that's the way the laws are right now, is that fermentate, that's how things work. So, but Suresh, let's get back to a second about exactly what is on this table.
Yeah, what we have today, we have a zucchini, we have and some cucumber, and we have apple, which is already cleaned and cut. Now I'm going to make a.
I'm sorry, I want you to go through the things. You have salt on the table. Okay, everything that we need here. We've got a cutting board, which has been cleaned with vinegar. Okay, show them the vinegar.
The vinegar, it is for cleaning the surface.
So why do you use vinegar for cleaning surfaces?
So what I do is that this is vinegar. I use every single thing that I use with the vinegar. So vinegar is basically an acid. This is acetic acid. It is a cleaning surface. So why I am not adding vinegar into the pickle is maybe should I ask?
No, we're going through everything that's on the table right now.
Yeah. So I have some jars which are ready to fill it up.
Now these jars are not just ready; they've been cleaned.
Yes. This is a hot packet. It is clean in the boiled water, and I have an appropriate canning. I mean the lid also. Yep.
Okay. So we have, and this is what everyone should have right now is we've got a
cutting board,
a clean knife,
salt, and some
salt,
paper towel, and kitchen towels, and
gloves, and extra spoons for tasting,
yeah,
because we don't like to mix anything.
Yeah.
You've got your spices.
Yeah,
You've got your vinegar.
That will come back later.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's go through the vegetables that we're going to work on.
Yeah. So those who have squash and zucchini, we can start right now. Some of the squash and zucchini, if it is over mature, if it is really like over, the skin will be very thick. So I would suggest to shave off the skin, because the skin is not, if it is highly overgrown, the skin is not going to give a desired result like this. This is a zucchini which we picked 3 weeks back. And we 3 weeks, a month back, right? We went to Toby, and this is so that is when we picked up the zucchini, we made sure that it's tender. So what we do is, this is the zucchini from our garden. This is soft. The way to check whether it's over, the skin should, this should be used. The seed should be used. Is take the seed, cut, and eat 1 or 2 seeds now.
Notice he is not putting the spoon in his mouth. He's just tossing the seed back.
Exactly. So, the seed is like, if it is like a matured seed, like a nutty, then don't use it because it's too hard. But it is soft. This is soft. You can use it.
Okay. Now, what about the skin?
The skin, for me, this skin is very soft, but it is some of the, if it is overgrown means like really overgrown, the skin becomes very thick. Try to skin it off. But here I'm going to use
if your skin is too thick, skin it off. Now, wait, hold on 1 second. Watch out for that knife. Now, you also cut off these pieces. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, well, in pickling, the most important process, the pickling is a preservation of vegetable. And composting is a decomposition of vegetable. These are composting matters. Like if you use this kind of the burnt skin and it is the stem, and this will not get composed, this will not get fermented, this will not get preserved, but the whole thing turned out to be a compost. So we need to understand the difference between fermentation and compost. Compost is a bacterial process which were transformed into something else, which is a manual. But fermentation is preserving a vegetable in its own juice without transforming its physical form.
Okay, let's just take a pause for a second. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay, so composting is not what you want. You don't want to use the bad parts of it. It's going to make it into manure. Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Compost. What the normal compost
we make compost, but we want to ferment things.
Yeah. So
okay.
Why we cut the vegetable? In most of the traditional methods, Europe, China, Africa, India, everywhere, the basis of fermentation using salt is cut the vegetable in the smallest size, which means you're allowing the fermentation area. The area is small. and the sprinkled salt, and so that the salt, the juice will be released. So I'm going to cut it.
And it will take a lot less time to ferment.
Exactly right. So I'm going to cut it. So those who are ready with the squash and zucchini, cut it the same way at the same time. And those who have okra, somebody said they have okra, cut the head of the okra and cut the head of the okra. And make sure the okra, before you cut, you clean, they wash it, and it's dry. There is no water on okra.
How do they dry it? Do they dry it with?
Keep it like this. That's it. Just
Okay, so cut it and then, but if she wants to cut it now, she can't cut it now because it's drying.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
You just put this in here and you don't know if this bowl is clean or not. So,
I clean it.
okay, so you cleaned it. How did you clean it? Show us with this how you cleaned it.
Yeah, this is a bottle of, this is a jar of vinegar, and this is keep a paper or a paper towel or a cloth towel. Just wipe it off.
Now, do not do this with water.
Exactly.
Do not do it with water. You must do it with the vinegar.
Yeah.
The vinegar is okay, but you do not, at this point, want to introduce any water
Exactly.
to your pickle.
So once you
No
start
more
the process, no
Water's
water.
done. You can drink water.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't spit. But
yeah. So this is those who are squash, cutted squash also. Squash or zucchini. And it's a silly point. I'm going to say that when we do the cutting on the tabletop, I would never use any vegetable follow the tabletop, because tabletop is invariably we use chemicals to clean.
okay, so for example, oh, it fell over there.
No, I don't take it.
Then this one, just toss it.
Compost. Exactly. So because the cleanness is the most critical aspect of this one.
Now, let's just give me 1 second, Suresh. Hold on. Hands. Now, notice his hands, he has gloves on.
Yeah, absolutely. The gloves is very important. And again, keep little vinegar and just swipe it around all the time.
Now, if you're making your pickle for yourself, just keep your hands clean all the time.
All the time.
But if you want to be super clean, a glove is a really good way to go.
And clean it with vinegar all the time.
Because that way you can start to pickle your own hands in the sweat that will be filled into the gloves.
Yeah, you can use either the glass mixing bowl or a steel.
Or ceramic.
But
do not use
plastic or aluminum. Important, don't use aluminum at all and avoid plastic. Why aluminum? Because aluminum is a soft metal. In the presence of salt, the aluminum releases its it goes a process called oxidation. It becomes aluminum oxide, which is harmful. And so you can take any aluminum and still put some salt, you can see the change happening. Now, what's happening here is this vegetable, those who are ready, this vegetable is started what in traditional in my language called breathe. So breathe is, the vegetable is releasing the carbon dioxide.
Let's take a moment. Let's breathe with the vegetable a second.
The breathe means actually it's not breathe in, it's breathing out. It's carbon dioxide is releasing. So this is the process which is very scientific. If it is small bowl, you can put it here. And
so this bowl was a little too small. You could see that it was overflowing. This is going to work better for this right
here. So this
here.
will be like a pound of vegetables, right? A pound of
1.25.
1.2. So for me, the amount of salt I use is the salt is the standard way, I mean, or acceptable way, or from the health perspective, is 2.25 or 2.5% of the total weight of vegetable. Like if you are using a pound of any vegetable, 2.5% is safe, but you can go up to 9%. That's what FDA say. The reason why we should not add too much salt is it creates a kind of a sodium enema, because it's salt is sodium chloride. So the more salt means it creates a sodium edema, is a sediment, it affects the bone. So it's the less salt is always better. For this much,
you don't want it to start pickling your bones.
Exactly. So this much vegetable, I would say slightly more than a pound, this spoon and half of it. This is enough. And now here, the same. Then you need to mix it. Mix it in such a way. You can use your hand. I'm going to use the hand. It's easy and best. Keep the vinegar. So now this process, I am helping the vegetable to release carbon dioxide quick. So it releases, and in few seconds, like this salt will disappear. Like apple salt is disappearing. This is very easy, and it's very delicious to eat. Also that one. And while you do that, don't talk like we are doing. The talking should not be there. I'm talking by heart. See, the salt is almost disappearing. Now the process of this is once you put the salt, the vegetable takes at least 4 or 5 hours. Even it can go up to 6, 7 hours. 6, 7 hours. All you do is just keep this guy closed. Or put a clean cloth. Exactly. Do that.
Or now sometimes you cover this cloth with vinegar.
Totally. Push it in vinegar.
This is not the greatest cloth. That cloth is
Yeah. But you don't have to then in case. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So
You do that. Yeah.
now
Soak it.
Okay. So I'm going to soak this cloth in vinegar.
Yeah. It's a 5 to 6 hours in this side, in the window side, wherever there is a sunlight, just clean it. So this process, what's happening now is the vegetable is transforming and releasing its carbon dioxide. Our carbon dioxide is unnecessary, and it's getting ready to preserve its also body. So once 5 or 6 hours, once this is done, the same thing.
Let's just take a second. Slow down.
Yeah.
Any questions out there? Anybody have any questions so far?
Just to double check, so
Yep.
2.25%
Yeah,
salt by
of the weight. Yeah.
And that, what you have there is about a pound of zucchini?
Yeah,
a pound
And you
and a
did
half.
like 2 spoonfuls.
1.5 spoonfuls. This is like not a full, maybe a full tablespoon would have been fine. It could be a little bit.
It can go up to 9%. The safe side.
You can put a little extra, but you don't want it to be too salty.
Too salty.
Okay. Now I think for a second, what about we check for the beets?
Yeah, let's check for the beets. Yeah, beets is very
Okay,
good.
so
That's good.
let's go pick some beets, and we're gonna do a beet pickle too. So come on over here.
But those who have zucchini and squash, have they cut and ready? Are they
Yep.
doing it? So can we check the participants?
So those of you with zucchini and squash, we hope you've cut it right now, and it's begin its breathing and
Yeah.
and fermenting, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's go get some beets. Come
Yep.
on over here
Yep.
into
Yep.
the garden.
To the garden.
Watch out for that and that and that.
And another question, what are we doing with the vinegar towel?
Vinegar towel. Vinegar.
Wait, Suresh, hold on. Suresh, you gotta. We only have one camera here, so let's get the beets and we'll come back and get it. Oh,
Okay.
look, we got some beets.
Yep.
We're gonna work on the beets now.
You have a knife or something?
Oh, are you kidding? Do I have a knife?
If you clean it, if you want to do it now, because
Okay.
so come on, please. It's a soil.
Okay. So a question that we had is, what are we doing with the vinegar cloth? Take a look at this here. This cloth is soaked in vinegar just so it's clean. It's letting the vegetable breathe right now. So this is what the plan is that the vegetable, it begins its fermentation process, and we leave it there for about how long? 3 to 4 or 5?
4,
6?
5 hours, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah, up to 6 hours. You could leave it overnight if you do it at night.
No problem.
Yeah, and you just let it. It's covered. You could do it with a
Glass with that also.
You could do it with glass, but you don't want it to be super tight.
Yep.
This is just so that it's breathing. This is a very important point. You don't want to pack it yet. This is before you pack it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
now,
also the vinegar, because you can see that there no flies will come. No flies. And the normal situation, the flies and microbes, it won't come on that. Yeah. You have to wash it.
how am I going to wash it?
You have to go and wash it, or we'll do that. The cucumber, you can keep that.
Okay, I'll wash it when you start the cucumber.
Okay, so we'll do the cucumber. Or any questions? I can do that too.
Now, Suresh, I have a question for you.
Yep.
I have a question.
Mhm.
2 questions.
Mhm.
First off, what about this guy right here? Look at that. That's going to
Yeah.
decompose, right?
It's actually like, you can just, I can cut it there. And
But you don't want this because I just touched it and my hands are dirty.
yeah. This is, of course, we are only doing the demo.
Right. But the other thing is,
Mhm.
I'd like to see
Mhm.
can you add one of those cucumbers in without cutting it and just cut the ends off and make a whole one?
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Absolutely do that. So when you do that, this one and this one, just like a little mark. That's all you do. Just little.
Ooh, can I just wash this with vinegar or what?
This already, which one? No, wait, you need to go wash this. Go inside quickly and come back now. Take a small knife. Bring a small knife, I can tell you.
Okay. Show is yours.
And this one, the cucumber and peppers can go together very well. And if those who have pepper can add on to this. Sure, you know that
Yeah.
if this cucumber, if something which is like a rotten, cut it out and clean it properly. Don't use the rotten parts at all. This is here, there is a little rotten, so I'm just avoiding it.
Can you let us know how to wash the beets also?
Yeah.
With water or vinegar?
Yeah, the first when you harvest it, you must wash with water. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this one.
Wait. Tell them. Slow it down.
Yeah. It's like.
Why, I have a question. They're not dry yet. So you said everything should be dry.
It will get dry soon because sunlight is very good.
I have a little knife. You want a little knife?
Yeah.
Okay. So wash the beets with water.
Yeah.
Use a clean knife or a scraper, whatever you call that. Take the skin off. Take the skin off.
We're going to show our beetroot.
Oh yes, okay.
And the cucumber also, like it's 3 years.
Okay.
Old. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So here.
This is 2017.
2017 fermenting beets. Now, what we should look at is that that's all the juice from the beets there. And this has been sitting in here for over 2 years.
3 years.
3 years. And now, what was the other one, Suresh, you just said?
Crab apple.
Oh, let's not go. We have a whole expose on crab apples. Let's see. Okay, so the cucumber. Let's look at the cucumber a second.
Yeah, exactly.
In comparison, I'd like to do a comparison of this cucumber and this cucumber. Can we let's see if we can move that there. All right. So this is water added, and this is the water from the cucumber itself. Now, Suresh has a lot to say about what water you use, about the purity. We do not use brines. We hope you understand that by now. And normally we don't use cucumbers, but it's fun to make a cucumber pickle because people seem to understand that better. But the water that you use, even if you are doing a brine cucumber, tell us about that water.
Generally, there's no need of adding water.
Cut out there for a minute. You want to say that again?
Okay, so cucumber with water just from the cucumbers. There's a lot to say about the water that you use in the cucumber if you're going to make a brine.
Yeah.
And Suresh has some things to say about that.
I mean, you know, in different places, like where volcanic mountains, like in places like many places in Europe, many places, the water which is like rich in minerals, which is a sodium and other minerals, that water is being added into the pickle to make it the same function. So actually, they are not adding just water, H2O, but actually they are adding minerals into it. But the process of pickling here in the United States, which is being widely followed, this method, what people are doing is they are putting some salt in the water and make a salt brine and adding it. There is no need of that because it is not giving the shelf life, the longevity of the vegetable. Here, classic example, here is 3-year-old pickle, which is preserved in its own juice. Here, this is just 3 weeks old, it's already mold is coming. So now, the pickle in the United States now is most of the general belief is that we have to keep it in the fridge. But actually, there is no, this whole basic idea of pickling is to avoid electricity and refrigeration. For instance, this crab apple here, right here, this crab apple
Put it in the
is,
center?
yeah, one whole ear. Crab apple is just the tree from the bay, one whole ear, and it's so delicious. And amazingly, like the flesh is like it's several layers of taste. And this same vegetable will turn after 1 year. This will be into. And this is what Clara did like 1 week back. Look at the change. There is no drop of water we added. There is no drop of water we added. Be careful, something. Yeah. No drop of water. Now we just put the salt, and after 1 week, this is going to be like this. And after 1 year, this is going to be there.
What's this?
This is the apple 2017 or 18 we did from our neighbor.
You can see that it doesn't have a very nice label, so it's a while ago.
Yeah.
Our neighbor's apple.
The neighbor's apple, exactly. So there's no need of adding water. And one important thing about using vegetables, once you cut, once you clean the vegetable, once you skin the vegetable, never wash it again. Because if you're actually killing the vegetable, don't put the water, because if you put this skin beet in water, the beet is root, beets will root its texture. What do you call it? Look at the texture of the pickle.
Crisp.
It's the
Still
crispness.
crisp. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this guy here. Again, cutting into small will give more fermentation space. That is the whole logic of cutting into small.
Now, you could also do a pickle where you mixed all of these, right, Suraj?
All of them, yep. But
Maybe not the apple.
maybe okra. Okra also doesn't go with that. Okra doesn't go. Okra goes only with okra can combine only with eggplant, no other vegetable.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Why?
now here, they both have similar properties. If you look at the garden, like you can grow eggplant along with okra. That's called a companion thing. So this much beets have plenty vegetable, plenty water in it. All you need is this much salt, very little salt, and then mix it. Again, the same process. Keep it for 4 or 5 hours, and it will be ready. And then you can add peppers into it. You can add some leaves like basil into it.
No, wait,
Or you
hold
can-
on. So when you say that, you're saying the things that you can add in there, when would you add those
You
in?
can add now.
Now.
Now,
You
yeah.
could add what?
Pepper,
Hot peppers?
hot peppers. Any
Not
different
black
kinds of-
pepper.
Not black pepper.
You mean fresh
black
vegetable
pepper is a
peppers?
seed.
Okay, so you could add hot
Fresh peppers.
peppers. You could add basil.
Basil you can add.
What other things?
Mint you can add. You can add mint. You can any bitter herb, different kinds of bitter herbs. One has to keep working on. I think lavender is not edible, so this we cannot add.
You've got some mint over here. Should I grab it?
You can add, sure.
Okay.
Mint,
Okay.
yeah. And then I'm going to add salt into this. Cucumber is a very important, very easy. I'm keeping a few cucumber as it is, and I just put several lines so that in the presence of salt, it will release its juice. Here, this is almost a pound and a half or more. So I'm going to use 1.5 spoons. That's all we need. So I'm going to wash it again.
Now you'll see. Obviously, we're not measuring the weight of these.
Yeah, you can measure it, but yeah.
You can measure it if you want to start getting used to what that amount looks like, or you can start to think like, well, this was 2 spoons because it's bigger.
Yeah, because when we do big production, we just finished 1,000 pounds of garlic scale. We do everything measured. Right? Yeah. So
I have a question. Now you said that we could add mint to that beets. So I've got a bunch of mint right here. Wash it with what? Water?
Wash it with water and make sure it's dry.
Okay.
When you put it in, because no water, or you can wash it with vinegar, no worry. Yeah.
I'll wash it with this water right here.
So now another 15-20 minutes, this guy will be ready. So we have a apple, we have a cucumber, we have a beets, and this is what is this? Yeah. Zucchini. So we can cover everything now. Yeah. Now this is the making process. This is our garlic scape, 1 whole year. This is a 2 years old green tomato. The same thing you can do the green tomato like this. No drop of water. It's 2 years old. This is a.
What is that?
I think
this is
lower down, sir.
Yeah, this is a cucumber. This is cucumber. Yeah, cucumber. Imagine the cucumber is like full
That's
of.
not cucumber.
What is this?
That looks
oh,
like
this is cabbage. Yeah, this is the cabbage.
Okay.
And this is turmeric and ginger. Again, no drop of water. And this is the zucchini pickle. Like
we can't hear you at all.
This is the zucchini pickle. Like when this will turn into this guy. This is
Turn it around. They can only see the label.
Yeah, this is 2 years old. And when you blend it in a blender, you make a very good paste, and you can use it as a sauce.
So we use some of the things like the zucchini doesn't stay super crisp.
Yeah.
It's really delicious as the pickle. We really like it, but when it is when we puree it, it's really nice. So something that then we can make a paste out of it. It's a great way if your pickle is too soft for you.
Yeah,
you can do that.
You can use it as a sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
okay.
Then, now the next process is, imagine that 6 hours have gone.
What?
6 hours of like.
Okay, hold on a second then. Let's see. Give a second. Do we have any questions right now, Libby?
Yeah. Do we blend it before the ferment or afterwards?
After the fermentation. Like this one, this is usually fermented after this zucchini here. We fermented 3 weeks back. Now another 2 more weeks. If you can give 2 more weeks, this is ready. All you do is just put it in a blender and blend it. Blum.
Now the reason why we don't ferment it first is you can introduce a lot more bacteria if you're going to blend it now and ferment it after it's blended. Many things can happen in that process besides the blades, and there's a lot of more open spaces. So let it ferment first. Now, actually, I'm seeing right here what's kind of cool is there's some bubbles coming up.
It's live.
You can see it's live. It's happening right now. It's still fermenting, and this top here is real tight because the air is coming out. And that's what we're gonna end this workshop later with, talking about how you go from this to this. All right. So Suresh, now we want to do a recap, or do we want to go into 6 hours has passed? If it's 6 hours have passed, we have to do a little.
I don't know how do we.
You think we need a recap?
Or all the participants are they following us?
I'm fine right now.
Also, just so you guys know, we're at like 40 minutes. It's been about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Already?
Just so you know.
Great,
okay.
Great.
So in that case, we will say, like, I hope all the participants are ready and they cut the vegetables and they put the salt.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's do a quick. We're doing a 6. Oh, but what about this? What do we put this in? Okay.
I think a quick recap would be helpful too.
Okay. I'm gonna cut this and you do a recap.
So the fermentation of it's a salt and sun-based fermentation. Fermentation, most important thing, the process of fermentation is cleanliness and avoid water. It's a water-free environment. Use vinegar to clean the surface, knife, hand, and everything. And don't wash any vegetable after cutting. All the vegetables must be washed before you cut it.
Once you have washed it and dried it, we didn't let the beet dry because we were able to peel it so the inside was dry.
Exactly.
After you cut it, after you've washed it and dried it, then water is done. No more water.
And avoid the decomposition part like this kind of and this kind of what do you call it? The top and bottom, right? So don't use this edges of any vegetable which are composting matters. So avoid composting matters.
Okay, so the other part of it is, so we cut it, we put it into a very clean mixing bowl with around 2.25 plus a little if you need to percentage of the weight of the body weight of the vegetable.
Mix it
with very, very clean hands, and then cover it. Either cover it with this or cover it with this.
Vinegar soak.
Yes. Okay.
We cover it for 6 hours.
Okay. So now 6 hours are passing, and we're sorry that you right now are not going to go to this next step, but you're going to take note so that you know where to go to this next step in 6 hours.
Okay, 6 hours. Now, 6 hours, take a glass jar, whichever size you have. Make sure you boil on a hot boiling, what is it? Hot bath, right? Hot bath.
Okay, so we have boiled water, and like the same way for jam, we boil water and we put jars in for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and
10 minutes is the amount of time to clean them all up.
And make sure it's clean.
And then dry. Make sure it is dry.
And
you can dry it, hold on. You can dry it with a paper towel. Put a paper towel in there to dry it. And you can put some vinegar in to make it extra specially clean.
Yeah, clean. And you take one little vinegar and you can clean all the jars, just clean it and put it here. Make all the jars are ready.
This is really fun to do. This part is really fun. You just transfer vinegar from jar to jar to jar. This is, of course, if you're going to use a lot of jars, which we do. It's good to get the appropriate size jar for your ferment. So, for instance, this guy here would be using a 8-ounce jar because it's so small. You don't really want to half pack a jar. You want it to be pretty much like pretty much up to here, not super tight. You need to be about 1 inch from the top, which we can talk about later. But you don't want a half pack jar either because it's harder for it to keep down. Right?
Someone's asking if apple cider vinegar is okay.
Apple cider vinegar, because it's
not in what we do.
Yeah, I mean you can use
for
it.
cleaning.
Sure, it's basically industrial vinegar is clean. Yeah, sure, we can, because we are not adding vinegar. We're just cleaning it.
Okay, but wait, hold on a second. A, apple cider vinegar is not industrialized vinegar, and B, or doesn't have to be, can they use it to clean their jars?
Yeah.
Yes.
Vinegar is basically acetic acid. Either from the industrial or apple cider.
Or made from their own apples?
Yeah, made from any. It's a
Or
chemical.
made from their own wine that went bad?
Yeah. It's basically an acid, Like what we are using is the acid to clean the surface. We are not adding acid, and the reason we can come to that point again. So we will start with the zucchini, our favorite vegetable. Can we just hold it? Yeah. So normally we use a funnel, but you don't have to use. You can use clean again the spoon. You can see the water in the bed.
Okay, let's check this out.
Just check it out. So this is the water in 10 minutes, like not even 10 minutes. This much water is released.
Okay, and I want to try something now.
So, yeah. And it's delicious. Even now
exactly.
You can,
now, try your water.
Yeah, it's delicious. And
It's salty and sour.
And you can eat even this one also.
Yep. So this is a very nice way to make a really quick pickle salad without the vinegar or anything. You're done. You got a salad.
Yeah, this is the filling it. Just fill it.
Now you can use your hands because your hands are cleaned with vinegar, right, Suresh?
Imagine that this is after 6 hours. So all of you need to remember it is 6 hours. Yeah. Okay, now.
Okay, hold on.
Now this is the key part.
Hold on. All right.
Now this is the key part. Now use the hand, just little plus, little more. Yeah.
Okay, what is key about this part, Suresh?
The part is like the air is going to get, there are air space in between.
Yep.
So now, after like a week, there won't be any air. So what we are going to do is, don't pack it too tight, but don't leave it too much space. So this is almost like
Oh,
this.
okay. So pack it a little bit
A
medium.
little bit, so that once the water releases, because it's continuously releasing its
Yep.
air.
Okay.
So if you if you pack it too tight, it may burst, because once you
Right. So this is a very, very important part right now.
look at this space. This is the space I gave in this big jar, and the same space here I am giving almost below the neck, and it's not too tight but not too low, too loose. And once you cap it, and you put the cap, and don't put tight
Okay.
down.
Very important.
Don't put tight.
So do we add the juice that
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We will add whatever in this one, you can add.
Okay. So
It's not tight.
if you're packing a couple of them, say you've got a couple of jars you're getting from this one thing here, split up your juice between them, because what's going to end up happening is that this juice is going to get bigger.
Yep.
Each one of them the juice is absolutely the important factor. That is the part that's going to ferment your vegetable.
And
so
also, please remember, don't put the lid tight as soon as
that's
you fill it.
really important. So you could, Suresh, if they have ball jars, can they just leave it like this?
No, this okay.
Okay.
We need to close it, but not too tight.
Okay. So close it not too tight. Now, so this is
The reason.
the second. So first we had it here,
6 hours.
letting the air out for 6 hours. Then we put it in here and we leave it a little bit loose so more air can come out. So you'll watch it, it will begin to bubble.
Yeah.
Now we know that sometimes people use, in the style of pickling with the water, that they'll use a weight and they use a gas thing that lets the air out. We have not found
You don't have to.
that to work for us. It seems that with this type of pickling things, it doesn't really work that well
It's
for
a
us.
very simple process.
It's much easier than that. You don't need to buy anything.
So this one, once you put the lid, like don't have too much. Overnight, like preferably 12 hours, just keep it like this, and don't move it. Because this is the time vegetable is actually releasing its oil, preferably on the sunlight, on a window.
Okay, so this is what you're saying. Now you leave it like this, and you keep it in the sunlight. Can you talk about the sun for a second?
The sun is indirect heat. See, indirect heat. Sun is like
if somebody added way too much salt to their squash, could you
Add more
Add squash. Not
add
water.
more squash?
Or zucchini.
Or
Squash
something, another vegetable, and make a mixed vegetable.
Squash and zucchini goes very well.
Okay.
Yeah, don't add something else, because don't add okra with the zucchini, because it doesn't mix.
Don't add. Say that again.
Okra and zucchini.
Okra and zucchini doesn't match.
Okay, no okra and
Yeah,
zucchini.
zucchini and squash goes very well. Cucumber can go well with that. But squash and zucchini.
Okay, so we're leaving in the sun. Well, overnight there's no sun. If it's a full moon, good.
I mean, 12 hours. Basically, it's 12 hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
keep it in the
then,
window. Then tight it.
Okay.
So when you tighten
then
it,
you tightened it.
so when the second day or third day, the second or third day, when you check it, there is more bubbles, air bubbles will come, and sometimes this lid will pop up. Don't worry. Let it pop up, let it be there. Right?
Okay, but here's the thing is, if you did not go through that step where you left it
It
for
will burst.
12 hours, letting the gas out, it will, and you just tighten it quickly, it could burst.
So avoid
So
bursting.
the other thing is that's why you're not packing it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
That's why you're letting there be some room.
Yeah.
So you need there to be some room. If you pack it to the top and you tighten it up, then you're maybe making a little melt of zucchini.
Yeah, I mean here, this is the cucumber. I can go a little more, and then this juice also can be added into it. Oh, oops. Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Now, okay, my
Okay.
hand is dirty. If I went like this and grabbed one,
Yeah.
Suresh would come over. If I went and, listen to this. If I went and grabbed this, what's going to happen?
I will immediately throw it out.
He's going to cut off my hand.
Yeah. So this is cucumber. Okay, this is cucumber, and now this is.
That's why we say, there used to be a saying, and this is interesting. Even though we now Americans use water in their pickles, but there used to be a saying, an old American saying was, a hand in the pot ruins the lot.
Yeah. So this is like, since we are using only small quantity of wheat, but I would always suggest that try to fill it up to here. So don't make this mistake. This is the demonstration. And the fourth one we have is the favorite one. Use the vinegar to wash my hand. Yeah. And then use this. This is just half an hour. Imagine, just look at here. This is in half an hour. This much water is released. Again, the same process, right?
And that's not too high because it's gonna shrink.
Exactly.
Suresh, can you come here? Can you read this?
Yeah, your hand in the pot ruins a lot. Yeah, exactly.
A lot.
Yeah. The moral is like the cleanness. The cleanness is the high basic.
Now put your hand out. Put your hand out.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So this is what our today's performance is. Anything more?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe something here.
So what do we got? What do we got now?
So we have a squash here. We have crab apple here. We have beetroot here. We have a cucumber.
We're ready to open a store.
Yeah, the store is right over there, right?
Oh, well, let me do a little intro to the store right now. You have a question? Let me do this intro to the store. Can you come a little closer for a second? So I don't know if you guys know this, but we opened a little store with these jars right here.
From here.
At 4470 Route 32, Catskill, New York. It's right. We can point the camera over there. It's right over there. And you can visit us on Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 5, and we'll have special pickles that we don't really sell at the markets, and we also will have some type of grab and go food. Okay, and we have a question.
Yep.
What's the question?
Oh yeah, so should we be leaving the bowl outside in the sun for 6 hours? And also the jar with the loose fitting lid?
Yeah, preferably in the window, not in the direct sunlight.
Not in the direct sunlight.
Direct sunlight, this is only the demo. Preferably like you're doing it inside the kitchen or you have a sun, right? So either wherever you need to leave where you get the sunlight.
Wait.
You
Sorry.
don't have to be in the direct sun.
That's confusing. When we do the first stage is the bowl. That stage, and then we go to this stage.
Both.
Hold on. Then we go to this stage and we keep the lid loose.
Yep.
And then we tighten it.
Yep.
So the first stage, sun or no sun?
Yes, both the stages you need sunlight.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, 4 stages. And then now the stage where we tighten it.
Yep.
Like this.
Yeah.
What about that?
Again, sunlight. Like 1 week is minimum.
Oh, 1 week in the sun. And then where does it go?
Then it can go to the basement, then in the dark shade, wherever you can store. So the whole process is sunlight is very important. The first you cut the vegetable, mix it with salt, cover with a lid or a vinegar cloth, keep it in the sun area for 6 hours. Then you fill it in the jar and don't tighten it. Keep it in the sunlight area for 12 hours. Then you tighten it, tight properly, and then leave it in the sunlight area for at least a week. A week is best because these are all vegetables with a lot of body, big carbohydrate and stuff. So the body with the sunlight and the body of cucumber, it ferments the carbohydrate, the protein, the starch, all these get softened or will become well like this.
You know, this guy is fermented. This guy has been in the basement for 3 years, and now I see some. It's excited to come back out to the sun.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep it for this is like 2 weeks. We harvested 3 weeks back. So we put in the sun 10 days, and then this is
okay. So add questions right now because we're at like I'm almost right.
Yeah.
Got a little risk just for a moment.
Okay, so places right now, fresh because that's class.
It's spotty. I don't know if the
Yep.
Can everybody hear others?
but this one is not as good as the sliced one. But so spices. I can't talk with my mouth.
Ready?
Cucumber.
Ready?
Yeah, it's a little bit lagging, and I'm not sure how to fix that.
It's just the circus.
Okay.
People are there?
Okay. So
Okay, try it. Yeah, I think it's back on track.
are we back on track?
Mhm.
So we're not going to do spices right now. But when, can you just tell us for a second, Suresh, when would we put the spices in?
Yeah, the spice mixing. The spice mixing,
We're not going to do spices now. You can
No,
take
yeah,
them
yeah,
away.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
confusing.
the spices that we use in our pickle, in our pickle, are 4. One is the mustard black mustard seed, fenugreek seed, and this is asafoetida and red pepper. So
Okay.
this is the 4 spices that we use. In the next session, we will
Opening a
show
can
you,
of worms, man.
yeah, we'll show you the percentage and the composition and when to add is the question. Like after you pickle a vegetable in this process for 1 week, which means the 6 hours, the 12 hours, then 1 week minimum. Once you know that, you get kind of a clear pickle like this. You can check it with a clear pickle like this. Then you can open it. Once you open it, you transfer into a mixing bowl, clean mixing bowl, either steel or ceramic. Then the spices which are roasted, which are ready, you mix it, and again you keep it for a few hours, 2 or 3 hours. Then you get back.
Okay, you don't need to go into the spices.
There's all
It's
next
confusing.
all the next
Confusing.
all
But
next
all we'll say is, first off, what you've done at this point is going to be delicious.
Yeah.
That making the ferment like this is going to be delicious on its own.
Yeah.
And you can leave them fermenting for as long as you want.
Yeah.
They should be ready.
For years you can
Okay,
do.
but they should
2
be
years, 3
ready.
years, yeah.
Now, say we've got zucchini.
So
When
this
will,
is ready.
the zucchini will be ready in about 3 weeks. Right?
2 weeks. 2 weeks you can start.
And okra.
Okra, it needs at least 3 weeks.
Now, okra is also going to be dependent on if you sliced it, you cut it up, or you did it whole. If you cut it up, it's going to be quicker.
Yeah, and also the okra, the most important thing is okra vegetable must be tender. If you have more fiber, it is not going to get pickled. And it is going to be dry. And when you pickle the okra, make sure you cut the head, and the head is not good. And I would say that try to pickle okra without slicing. The whole okra is very good. So the same procedure, the same process is you can use it. We have a few jars.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's already cut her okra if she has cut her okra. But the point is that what you've done today is going to be delicious the way it is.
Yes, it is.
We will pick up in, we're not sure exactly when it will be, but you'll hear about, we'll do a spice one after we, so we can go over some spices to do with that and different ways to do spices. We, of course, have a very particular way to do spices.
Exactly.
Those of you who have tried our products. Okay.
This is opening session.
No, we're
closing
done.
session.
No, we're done. Any other questions? No? All right. Mwah, mwah. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Clara, Libby.
Thank you, Clara and Libby, for making it happen. And thank you guys for coming. Everybody, Rose, Marlene, everybody.
Everyone's waving.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Oh, wait. So we would love if you guys could leave us a review of the class. We put a link on there because that would be really great. But also you can write to us and tell us. We'll send you something that gives you an overview of what it was we did. And if you have any suggestions on how this could be a little bit better, that would be great.
Or if anything goes wrong in the process.
And if anything goes wrong, and we want to see your pickles.
Yeah.
Show us your pickles. Okay.
Pickle. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.